All right, my friends, welcome to episode 308 of Prof and Dev Play Games. This is the final DLC for our podcast series. We have invited a guest here. His name is Sora. He has a key for a sword. Today we're talking about the latest Smash news, and over there's Anthony the Dev at Summer Speak. How you feeling about that Smash Brothers news?
I'm feeling like I should have seen it coming.
Yeah, right? Like, duh?
Like, really, duh. Like, what? I guess in my head, why it wouldn't have been Sora is because of the Disney connection and being like, God, the legal issues getting this in could be hard, to say the least. But
I think in a previous episode we both had mentioned Sora, but had kind of thought as we wind down, obviously besides the copyright issues you're talking about, I thought Nintendo would end with a Nintendo character for the final one.
Yeah.
I really did. That's what surprised me the most. But they had mentioned that going all the way back to the Wii U 3DS character, they had said this was the number one requested even back then, which was surprising because I thought in previous releases they had mentioned like Sephiroth or Cloud being the top. Maybe Cloud, but maybe it was just like one of the top.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, but I mean, also, it's a Keyblade. Is a Keyblade a sword?
No, but
I know that swords are blades, but blades could be lots of things. So
yeah, absolutely. But my daughter looks at it this morning, my 4-year-old, and says,
sword.
"Is that key a sword?" Like, yeah, sure. I don't really know the lore behind that tool,
Sure.
but sure. And she's like, "I want to play Sora's game now." Yep, I'm sure you do. Marketing works. Really does.
It's true.
It just it's really cool to have a final character that's just kind of like, duh, this makes total sense. This is a big missing piece to this game.
Yeah, totally. And it's crazy to think this is the final one for Ultimate as well.
I thought for sure there was going to be wait, one more thing, and here's some fucking wacky Nintendo character.
Here's number 90.
Yeah.
Because there's
89.
Just to round it out nicely with to 90. But no. But
Nintendo
I can't believe there's 89. Like there's a lot to this that like what they announced, but then there's a lot to unpack of just being like there are 89 fighters in this version of Smash. And are they ever going to do another Smash? Should they ever do another Smash? Should they just re-release this Smash on whatever the next system is? Like, and go like, we have 89 fighters here. What do you want from us?
I can't see them going back to another Smash game without completely redesigning it in some way. I don't know how you top this. Like, what have 100 characters next time? Like,
yeah, that's all I can think is like, do you just take this, go forward with whatever the next thing is, and then all right, we're just going to release another couple dozen fighters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because everything's going to be compared to this.
Right. There must be diminishing returns in terms of how many people buy these packs. I know a friend of mine who's really into Smash and refuses to buy any of the DLC because he believes that it should be in the game, that you shouldn't be buying extra. That they should have packaged it in if it was meant to be in it. Which is fine. That's one way to think about it. But I'm
going to hot take. That's a dumb way to think about it.
I mean, I don't know if it's dumb.
Knowing how games are made, that is a dumb way to think about it.
I'm going
to
disagree
to be there to be. It's dumb.
That's fine. I'm going to disagree with you. I think it's a different perspective, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it's not one that I share.
I mean, if that was the case, then Smash shouldn't have come out until now.
Okay, how's that work? You mean with the DLC characters?
If all those needed to be in the game for it to be complete and be a done package included in the game, well, this would mean that this is done now. And they didn't. If they were holding these off and just working on them and needed all the time to continue to work on them, the game's not done. Based on that statement of what's being said, that these should have been into the game to make it a complete package.
No, I think the argument that's not quite the argument. The argument is that the package as it was when it was released should have been the done thing, and they shouldn't be.
Then they should have waited. Then it would have been now
stuff,
before it was done.
Sure, it's not about completeness, Anthony. It's about the idea of milking more money out of it. That's the problem. Like his problem, at least.
Is it milking more money?
Do I think so? I think.
Yeah, I'm just.
No, my
I
perspective.
don't think it's milking money.
I think it's great.
As a developer, I'm going to say like, no, this is not milking money, because I mean, I can point to things that are milking money, and I'm like, no, they're putting a lot of work into this. This is actual like people's time and energy and salaries and everything being paid to make these. So,
I mean, isn't there time and money and salaries into making things for what's the game you were playing last time that you were researching?
Genshin?
That's it. Yeah.
There's a lot goes into that as well. I mean, that's not a game I would put up there as like they're milking things out of it. Like, it's definitely a game I play. I'm like, it's funny how much that game is not trying to like bend you over to spend money.
Yeah.
Like, there's opportunity to. They give you the opportunity to, but they don't. I don't feel like if you don't spend money, it's any worse of a game. Give you everything you need to just play the game, and have a good time. So it's just a weird. It's a weird. That game is weird in the fact that I'm like, wow, you're doing the gotcha thing, and a very the way I feel like it should have been done most of the time, and you're being rewarded for it because it's making a ton of money.
I think Smash is similar in that, like, I love all the characters and all the DLC. I've bought it all, but I don't think it's necessary. There's so much in the base game that you don't need it.
If they had stopped and said, nope, that's it. That's all that gets released. Like, let's say go back to the Smashes on N64 and like GameCube. No downloadable fighters, but they were complete games. And I would say if this had never received an update, it would still be in a very complete game.
Well, and if it had never received an update, I think we would be saying, oh, here's what you could do with the next one. Add these characters. Do this stuff.
Yep.
But I don't know, man.
And that's also a thing of different take now, is where it's less about releasing completely new games. I would say go back 15 years. Yes, that would be the next thing. You'd wait a couple years and you'd get a new game that would have the original stuff plus new stuff, but it would be a whole new game. Take Monster Hunter series for that. Like, until World, every Monster Hunter release had 2 releases.
Right.
Well, a big chunk of them. You had the base one that came out, and then like a year and a half later, you got the Ultimate, which was the game you already played plus more.
Right.
But they stopped doing that in World and Rise and changed to be, well, we'll just make that Ultimate piece a $30 DLC you just buy, because it's cheaper for the player, and then I think to the developer, it keeps people in the same game. It doesn't fracture the community at all.
I wonder about the idea of diminishing returns, and like how much work goes into these packs and how much do they actually sell. Like, is it just not economical to do another pack? Because I
Probably
feel like
not.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also eventually, like, do you want to go work on something else at some point?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And then of course it's like everything. It likely has each pack probably sells a little bit less than the one before it in some ways, unless, who knows, Sora might spike because it's the last one. But in general, I mean, with most things like this, you just want to keep the tail long, but you know that it will eventually get smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
So at some point they just plan it out. But part of me feels like this is less of that and more of, we just want to be done for the time being. Like, this is it.
Well, and just knowing,
we supported this game for how many years now? So
just knowing what it does to Sakurai's body, his hands, his testing regimen, it makes sense.
Yeah. And then I actually would say, if it's weird now, if a game doesn't receive an update now in the current gaming market and player size, it's a dead game.
Are you thinking specifically like multiplayer games or even single player games?
Even kind of single player is weird, but a lot of times it's like a single player game. It comes out and then doesn't receive anything else. It's usually just gone.
Yeah.
Its life is very short overall.
There's just so many.
Returnal being one like that. I don't.
Right.
They've done a couple updates, but they haven't done anything huge. And how quickly that just falls out of the common zeitgeist.
There's always the new shiny, right? And if you don't,
there's always the new shiny.
You don't have the new shiny related to your game, like a new mode, new level, or whatever. You're just kind of forgotten because there's only all the air's taken up with other stuff.
It is totally games as a service. I mean, even big single player games, I'm trying to think. I mean, sometimes you don't need it. Like you get things like God of War didn't have any DLC, right?
No, it was just that was it. Just that game, nothing else.
Nothing else.
Nope. They added they added some sort of. It wasn't photo mode. Maybe it was photo mode. They added some mode. But no, there was no DLC.
I'm looking at what the updates and patches were. Bug fixes. Yeah, they didn't really add much of anything. Future patches. Photo mode was a future patch. Never mind. Yeah.
That's the one I remember.
So I'm trying to even think of other just big single player. Horizon, they had their DLC later.
Right.
Ghost of Tsushima did the same thing, single player wise. So it's a pretty common way to even extend the life of a single player game, just by a bit.
Well, and Ghost is interesting because it was single player and they extended it with a multiplayer mode and then a single player mode.
Yep. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, you basically in this market, you have to do it, or you get that initial spike and then it goes away.
Right.
And then especially if you have multiplayer, then people expect that you're going to be updating your multiplayer at this point.
Right.
Because if you don't, people will be like, well, it's the same. It's stagnant. Moving on.
Yep.
What's the next thing? Which is unfortunate, but it's definitely a change. And it's honestly a big reason why I'd expect that like Smash has gone to this much more like downloadable fighter route, because it keeps the game fresh for longer. And keeps people coming back to it. Like a bunch of people come back to it with Sora coming into it now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Each I thought they were really smart about each character being so, I don't know, just like a little bit out from the base characters. Like Joker brought people in. Sora for sure is going to bring people in, especially if it was that requested. I don't know. And then some, Pitha, or I don't know, whatever the Xenoblade character was.
Oh yeah, the Xenoblade ones. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, they've mixed it. It's all sword users all the time, but
oh my God. You managed to get another fucking sword user in there, kind of.
That's the best kind of technical going on there.
Exactly. I would have lost my fucking mind if they had put in another Fire Emblem character.
I wish they would have joked about it.
Here's another sword fighter. Oh
yeah.
My God.
I saw a lot of people. I was looking the last couple of days. People really thought there was a big contingent that really thought that it was going to be Master Chief.
I just never bought into that. That didn't make sense.
Neither did I completely, but I was like, really, guys, huh? And the only one that got me was like, well, I don't think so, but they did put Snake in here, Solid Snake.
Right.
Which that's where it kind of threw. I'm like, okay, you got like this military shooty kind of guy in there, so I guess that opens it up for Master Chief to maybe make it in.
It's actually kind of a little surprising not to have Master Chief in as a Mii fighter when they have, especially with Doom Guy in there.
That's true. They have Doom Guy now.
But at least Doom Guy or whatever Doom is on Switch. So. And speaking of that,
That's
Kingdom Hearts is coming to Switch as cloud versions. So
as cloud version. I saw that. I was like, playable using the Switch. I wouldn't really call it on
on
the
the
Switch.
Yeah, totally.
But it's an interesting thing. I wonder how well that's been going for everybody who's done it.
I have never tried it, despite having downloaded Control demo. I wanted to try it out. I just never did. I haven't heard anything that's been like it's terrible or amazing. I just feel like I've heard things that are like, it works.
It exists.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you only have a Switch, like that's pretty cool that they're doing that because you can have access to some of those games. But boy, if you have anything else to play these games on,
Yeah.
especially Kingdom Hearts, like when 3 came out and whatever else, like there were just tons, or the remasters or whatever, that you could get them for pretty fucking cheap. I bought them all, even though I've only played a little bit of the first one. I'm kind of glad I did now since my daughter's like, oh, I want to play those games.
Yeah, I mean they're on all the marketplaces now.
Yeah.
So yeah, my wife is like, oh, maybe I should go back and play those and actually like get through them. And I'm like, well, you can play them on anything now, so don't worry about that.
Don't need to play on the Switch.
Yeah,
but that's also smart for them to put it in here. I don't know how it gooses their sales, but like this is also marketing Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah.
In some way. Like, oh, I should play that again before I don't know, fucking play this character. I guess.
Yeah, I mean.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it just spikes nostalgia in people as well.
Yes.
Of being like, oh yeah, I remember those games. I really like that. Well, guess what? You can play them. Enjoy.
Man. The last fucking it just feels like the end of an era. Like I was so excited I was so excited for the one on the 3DS and Wii U to come out, and then this one, of course, and now it's like, wow. He was saying the thing like you could have been in elementary school and now you'd be entering high school or some shit like that. I'm like, oh my god, you make me feel old, man.
Yeah, I'm looking. What was the release date?
2018?
Yes. December 7th, 2018.
Yeah.
So we are almost approaching 3 years of this game being out.
Yep.
That's crazy. And I guess we should look at Sora again real quick. We got Sora, Sword User. He gets his stage, the Hollow Bastion. Familiar. I mean, I bet if I had played the series, I would know this more, but it's a very clearly Kingdom Hearts stage.
Right.
Stained glass going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is very Kingdom Heartsy.
It was like one that's like going around a tower of some sort. Like I don't fucking know this game, so
no,
whatever. But I'm sure people are happy or pissed. I don't fucking know.
No, it actually seems like the general reception has been very positive overall. You get the song lists. You get 9 new songs, Kingdom Hearts songs.
Well, you get 8, but if you have a save file for one of the, what the fuck was it called? Where was it? If you have a save file for one of the games, oh, there it is. If you have a save file for Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, your save data will grant you 1 extra song.
Dearly Beloved Swing. That would make 10 total songs.
Oh, 10. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you're right. 9, and then that's 10. You're right.
Yep, there we are. Okay. Dearly Beloved Swing version.
All right.
If you've added this game for those who have played Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, I don't even know what that is.
That's the new rhythm game. That came on Switch. You know how they
You're just saying words.
No,
you
it's
could
a
say
fucking
anything for Kingdom Hearts, and I'd be like, sure, that's a game.
No, it's true. And how fucking bizarre is it? Is that it's a rhythm game that adds story to Kingdom Hearts 3 after it ended.
Sure, why not? Why not? It's okay. Final Smash, of course, it comes with spirits, which are just other characters from Kingdom Hearts. It doesn't look like Disney characters.
No, they're not. They're ones that they made.
Yeah, clearly Disney's like, no. Like, you can use Kingdom Hearts, but you can't use any of our characters.
Well, they got the Mickey Mouse silhouette on the keychain on his Keyblade.
Yes. That's about as close as you get.
When I saw that for a split second, I was like, they put fucking Mickey Mouse in this game? Yes. And I was like, no, this is probably Sora. But there was a split second where I was like, what the fuck is happening?
And you get a spiky-haired Kirby.
Always cool when they show the Kirby. I just love how Sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go.
I just love how, like, in his portrait, Sora looks so fucking happy. He's just, like, so shiny and pop happy. When everyone else looks all
Maybe
grim
even
dark and shit.
simple and clean.
Yeah. And it's based off his first, Kingdom Hearts 1 design, so I guess that's probably reminiscent of that.
Yeah, that reference went over your head, didn't it?
I didn't even hear what you said. What'd you say?
Simple and clean.
Simple
It's
and
the song. It's the
Oh,
song that's playing in the trailer,
I don't
and
know.
it's like a pretty famous English version of a Japanese pop song.
No, definitely have no idea what you're talking about.
The Japanese singer Utada Hikaru wrote all the main music, or performed. I don't know if she actually wrote it or not. Performed uh, the music for each of the Kingdom Hearts games, at least the first two, maybe the third one as well, like the main themes. Actually, I'm pretty sure she did write it because it was for her own album, and they used it for this. And then
Oh, that's cool.
they kept her coming back for each of the other games. But they do English versions of them, her singing English lyrics for the English releases. So, yes. So there you go. The song playing in the trailer is simple and clean.
Well, now I've learned something. Thank you.
There you go. It's crazy, though, to think this is it.
Yeah. It is. I'm always looking forward to the next character, and now there's none. No speculation.
No, now you wait to see if they're going to do another Smash. Ever.
I can't imagine he's going to do it. Like, he said he's not leaving game development, so he's going to hopefully move on to something new.
Yeah.
I read that he hasn't done anything besides Smash, except for Kid Icarus Uprising since 2008.
I mean, he could do Fire Emblem.
Fuck, man, that'd be cool. That's a
He
great
likes
idea.
it so much.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he would like to step in there. But I mean, he's not leaving game development. Hopefully, he's staying with Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got his is separate technically, I guess. So
Is he?
Sora Limited is separate. He gets contracted by Nintendo, but I can't imagine.
Is it one of those weird relationships?
Yeah, he's not second party or anything like that. He just seems to exclusively work with Nintendo, but it's technically independent.
Weird.
But I don't know. I can't see him unless, oh my god, Sony's like, hey, yo, you're done with that? We got this PlayStation All Stars thing that we need some fucking help
Oh,
with.
jeez.
How crazy would that be? Oh man, I don't know. I'm sure he's getting.
Oh, Sakurai, he was from HAL Labs.
Yeah, Kirby. Mm-hmm.
That's right. He worked there. He worked with his wife there, and then they left to form their own company.
Well, and his wife is the one that does all the UI for the menus.
Okay.
For Smash specifically. That's all her
Okay. No, yeah, a number of employees. 2. It's him and his wife.
Yep. Guess that makes it
Oh,
easy.
that's interesting. No, this is like blowing my mind on how that has to work because that means like he's not the dev team. He might function as design and kind of like that high level design going on.
Right.
But his company is a company of 2, and it was developed by
Bandai Namco.
Namco? Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Like Maine?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Man, Japanese companies work with each other in much different ways than U.S. companies.
Very
I'll say that.
strange ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're not really competing. You're all working together.
I know.
Interesting.
Yeah, it really is.
I noticed that, and this is like, I'm trying not to make like a broad stereotype here. This is just like a incident that happened when I was a counselor at a language summer camp in Minnesota. We had like a cohort of Japanese students, young students. They were like, how old were they? Probably 11, 10, 11, 12. We were playing some sort of competitive game. It was like a football game, but it had different rules, so like 3 different goals. And 3 teams and kind of playing against each other, just trying to get them out there and run around. We couldn't get them to play against each other. They all worked together to get the ball in the goal for each team in turn.
Awesome.
Let's just let it happen. We're like, all right, looks like they just want to work together. together. As long as they're running around getting exercise, I guess we're good. So I don't want to say that's
Honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I'm not gonna say that that's everyone there, but there is a
Exactly.
cultural thing, uh, pretty ingrained into the culture of being supportive of one another. Um,
Right, right.
like that's just uh, you see that a lot there in general. So that kind of makes sense that they're like, why do we want to compete? We want to help everyone
Right.
here.
Let's
Like,
all feel good about scoring.
good. Yeah. Um, when they score, we feel good too. See, everyone's happy.
We feel
But
good that
yeah,
they scored, and we feel good that we helped them.
that is absolutely crazy though. The development team for this. So yeah,
Yeah.
Bandai Namco probably wants to go do other things, and Sakurai wants to go do other things, and being uh, that's funny. That's named Sora Limited. That makes total. Oh my god.
That was funny when he mentioned it in the thing. He's like, yeah, that's also the name of my company. It means sky.
It does, and it's just one of those. You're like, yeah, that's very fitting in the end. So yeah, I'm curious what they'll do then. Like,
I
he's had such incredible success doing this. So
I'm gonna miss these presentations where he's just like against like a stark wall with pictures, and he's just like,
yeah,
we're DLC, so we don't really get a budget. And we'll just
yeah.
start laughing. Uh,
Oh man. Um, crazy. I'm very curious what he'll do next. I'm curious what Nintendo will do with Smash
I mean, it's gonna
in
be
the end.
iced for a year or two, right? They don't need to do anything.
I think longer than that
You think
at
so?
this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we won't see another Smash game until they have a new console of some sort.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
And I think it's going to be at least 3 years before we see another console, to
Yeah.
be
I mean,
honest.
well, I mean, the Switch. I mean, I think you could say like it's not long in the tooth, but it's in middle age. But like it's still fucking going gangbusters. So why fucking Switch?
Yeah, I mean, an OLED one comes out
Friday, right?
yeah, Friday.
I got
So,
I got Dread coming, obviously, and
yep.
then Brad sent a link to a wired Power A Switch controller that has Samus on it, but it has back paddles, excuse me. I've been
Oh,
looking for a
interesting.
Switch controller with back paddles, and I was like, all right, well, this is it. So I got that coming as well. And the Switch is next to me on the couch, like it's at the end table next to the couch, and then it has a 30-foot HDMI that just goes to the TV from there. So the wire's not an issue.
Nice.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So what you been playing?
Genshin.
Oh, really?
All
Okay.
Genshin. Yeah, I'm still going. I'm
Nice.
actually really enjoying the game a lot.
Whoa.
Um, it has, I mean, yeah, it's a gotcha game, but it has, when people talked about it being like Breath of the Wild waifu simulator, yeah, that's what it is. But it is smart. It has such good takes on so many of the Breath of the Wild like puzzle systems. There's so many environmental puzzles. Well, things a lot less contained, just like what you would normally have been in shrines in Breath of the Wild. They just are in the world.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so you'll just come across them and you'll be like, oh, if I do stuff over here, and you start, and they are very smart with their design of being able to naturally start putting pieces of the puzzles together, and you're like, oh, I did the thing. That's cool. Um, and they follow a lot of the same thing of whenever you finish something, it usually is in a place where you can see something else in the environment to do.
Oh, cool.
So you're just chaining from one thing to another.
Right. Well, that's pretty smart
Uh,
design because you have a breadcrumb and you're like, well, let me just see what that is. That's Breath of the Wild did that so well. Let me just check that out.
yeah,
And then 2 hours later, you're like, checked out 5 more things.
yeah, and this Genshin follows that and does it really well and has an enormous world that's actually just super dense with things to find and see.
Oh my God, are you gonna get me to install this game?
I don't know.
This sounds kind of interesting.
It is interesting. You just have to get past. I don't know. You have to get past the waifu simulator part kind of feeling. The super anime. stuff going.
Yeah, not super. Not, I'm not opposed to anime. I just don't care about it.
Yeah, it has some the normal like I don't know, weirdness sometimes. You got your little floating companion creature thing, fairy thing that follows you around that I don't know, every time I get a dialogue choice, I just say that it's emergency food.
All right.
Sure.
Just in case I'm hungry, I've got this with me.
Yeah, that's why they're following me around. That's why I keep them around.
That's crazy.
It's a weird game in that way, but design-wise, yeah, it's really smart, and it's smart in a lot of things. It has the normal Breath of the Wild. You can climb any surface, has stamina, which you can expand your stamina. You collect rosters of characters.
Wait, so
again,
Aloy can climb anything in this game?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's better than Horizon.
It is better. It's kind of ridiculous that way. Yeah, I don't know. I'm having just a fun time just going through and finding all the different things, and there's tons of just like environmental storytelling and little quests, and like there's a main story you can follow through that I wouldn't say the writing is amazing. Actually, more than anything, it's a little bit too verbose at times. Like, get to the point. Let's go. But it's definitely intrigued me enough where I want to see where it's going. So I don't know. I get why it's so popular, and it's kind of, I find it very nice that it's making a shit ton of money for not being so incredibly like scuzzy and dirty feeling while playing. Like, games that tend to make a lot of money like this, free to play, tend to have a lot of levers that make me cringe. And this just doesn't have them. Like, yes, it allows you to spend a lot of money if you want to, but it's not like it's gating any part of the game by you spending money.
It's mainly all cosmetic, right? How you look?
No, you get new characters that way. Like, I'm trying to think of how many characters they give you off the bat. You will get, eventually through the beginning of the story, you'll get 5 characters you can switch between, and that's all the elements, so that you can do all the things in the game. So if you just want to stick with those characters, no problem. And then they give you currency as you basically do everything in the game, and you can spend that if you want to roll your gacha chances to get more characters, basically.
Nice.
But you don't have to. I mean, but that's the thing. You don't have to spend money. I've gotten so much just free stuff from just playing, and just doing the things in the game that the game wants you to do. So, find chests, open chests, get things that you need. I don't know. It drives me in the right way of being like, okay, I see what this game is. It's a more of an RPG than Breath of the Wild is. It has
that's cool. That's satisfying.
deeper stats and gear and leveling and things like that. So I don't know. Like, it's cool.
It would be so interesting to, and I know that you probably don't even have an answer for this, or if you did, you couldn't talk about it or wouldn't want to, but it would be cool in a couple of years to see how, like, absorbing this game or other games that you're working on in like a research component, how it like influences decisions in Astroneer. Because just think about like making music. Like, I'm listening to different music all the time, and I'll just pick a piece here and pick a piece there and kind of like combine them into something new. And that's got to be something that happens on your side.
I think that happens on almost all creative arts. If you're creating stuff and unless you cut yourself off while you're making the thing, you're always going to be influenced by what's coming out, what you're playing, especially whenever you notice like, oh, that's cool, that's a good idea. I want to take mental note of that. I might come back to that if I need to solve a problem.
Right.
Which is fine. I mean, that's what look at all games just evolve on top of each other pretty constantly. All the designers I've worked with and anyone else will always point to other games and how they're handling different similar situations, what the pros and cons are of
Right.
those decisions, because a lot of times why reinvent the wheel completely, and also why throw something out if it is actually a good idea? Like, sure, they might not be executing it on the way that you want to execute, and each game is unique, so you have to adapt to your product. But there's plenty of great ideas out there that you can adapt, and then riff on or make better. Honestly, I mean, to be
Right.
honest, that was PopCap's big thing. We find there was a whole bunch of games just finding stuff that was like, this is close, we can do this better. The execution is just off. This needs to be tweaked. This would be better if the mechanics were just changed just a bit to make this smoother.
Right.
Or simplified. So I don't know. I'm all for it, and I'm sure that happens, like you said, with music all the time. You hear things, and I'm sure writing that happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's definitely
Film the same way. People do homages and similar shots and scene constructions all the time.
yeah. I guess that's true. I guess I was thinking more specifically about the thing, like publicly knowing you're playing through this, and for me to have played Astroneer with you, to then look 2 or 3 years later to see like, is there anything
what
that I could
possible
pull from this game specifically that I know that you were playing? I just love that. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, consciously or unconsciously.
I feel
Who knows?
unconsciously, like it just like
Yeah.
seeps in, and then eventually you're just like, yeah, let's put Aloy climbing a wall in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Guess what? Astroneer takes off their helmet, and whoa, it's Aloy. Who knew?
Oh fuck! Oh my god, you heard it here first, folks.
No, please don't sue us, Sony.
You didn't actually do it, so.
No. Actually, Astroneers are pudding. We'll keep that. We'll keep that stupid meme going from our community.
Take out the helmet, it just oozes out pudding.
Yeah, everything just oozes out. There's nothing underneath. They're just pudding.
Good fucking gross.
It is kind of gross, but I'm like, sure, why not? So I don't know. That's really all I've been playing when I have been playing, because there's just so much content to consume in it, and it's been
right.
pretty enjoyable in that regard of just kind of learning the systems and just exploring. I like games that allow that big world exploration.
Yeah. And go wherever you want.
Yeah. And do stupid things, because definitely you can go wherever you want, and then you hit a high level area and you're like, those mobs are way higher level than me. I better run. Get out of here fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, for me, I've been playing, and the only game I've been playing is Kena Bridge of Spirits, which is fucking rad. It is really good, and I think part of it is influenced by the fact that it's like so captivating for my daughter. There's just, it's beautiful, but the way that it plays, we're probably 5.5 hours in so far, and we've gotten like 3 major upgrades for we picked the bow, and now we've picked up a bomb, and they've fundamentally changed the way the game plays, and it opens up new puzzles. Not just like go to old places like Metroidvania style and like unlock new things, but you're in brand new areas and you have to do brand new things. This bomb has opened up like new traversal mechanics that I've actually never seen implemented in quite this way, where like you interact with these rocks basically that are glowing. So you throw a bomb at them, and then they unspool from the ground and like float in the air. And when they're in the air, you're meant to like jump on them to get to new places, but then you've also got to interact with them with your bow to like flip them around to make sure they're in the right spot. And then connect to these flowers that when you shoot with your bow, you kind of get, it's like a grappling hook, and you pull toward it. So there's like so many puzzly mechanics happening with these new tools that help you traverse differently, that it feels constantly engaging from a moderately difficult puzzle mechanic. Maybe not moderately, I'd say moderate. puzzle mechanic in the environment to get to new places. It is very much. I saw reviewers describe it as wide linear, but it feels maybe wide seems a little too far. But you're very much corralled into places, and you try to like jump on the borders and you can't. Like that rock you can't jump on, those trees you can't climb through or whatever.
There's invisible walls.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. Which is frustrating to my daughter, who's like, climb up there, get in that tree. And like, I can't. There's a wall there. She's like, I don't see a wall. Come on. Like, here's the controller. You try. But man, so all that's cool. All the gameplay is cool. Like, I love games where you're playing in one way and then you get a new tool and it changes the way you play, in a way that is, it's like flow state almost, where it's just ratchets up the difficulty just a little bit so you're engaging with the game in a new way and it stays fresh. So that's cool. Not today, but 2 days ago or whatever. My wife came downstairs because every other morning I wake up with my daughter and we usually play Kena, and my wife comes down and we're watching this huge cutscene, and I don't know if it happens to you. I know that it happens to Brad, and maybe it happens to other people too, but he reports, and I report too. Whenever there's a cutscene in a game, you can't fucking pause it. That's when my wife wants to talk or have a discussion or a conversation. I'm like, I've been playing this for 4 hours to get to this cutscene. This is like the meatiest cutscene of the whole game. Like, we can't talk. I gotta watch this. So my wife is coming downstairs in the morning, and the cutscene just starts. And she says, good morning. We say good morning, but then we're like locked into the TV because like we're finally learning what happened to this kid Taro, that we've been looking for 4 fucking hours in this game. And my wife, knows we're invested in the story, and she's just, waiting for it to go through, watching it, and then as the story unfolds, I just fucking start bawling, just start bawling on the couch. It was so touching to me. And she just looked at me like, what the fuck is happening? Because she's looking at like this Pixar thing, right?
Yeah.
But man, it was really, really moving. And then to explain to my daughter like what had happened in this story was pretty cool. And she had a ton of questions. And it was such a cool moment. And just like everything in this game is like, sharing it with my daughter definitely amplifies how I feel about it. But it's going to be a gaming memory that's going to stick with me for a super long time.
Nice.
And we still got 4 or 5 hours left, I'm sure. It's like a 10-hour game, and we've got 5 to 6 hours down. So I recommend it, especially if you.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be cool to play with your daughter, I think, or whatever. Depends on what kind of games you play. There is some battling.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
She battles.
All right.
I no issues with that. Yeah, it's one I want to get. Both my kids saw trailers for it and were like, "Oh, this looks really good." And even my wife was like, "That's pretty."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
They know what they're doing. That's for sure. Their audio mixing sucks, but everything else is great.
Oh.
No, and it's only in the cutscenes where you've got the music that's like the strings and the fucking drums and the fucking whatever, and then the dialogue is like this and they're talking like this. And the music is really loud and the dialogue is like this. I'm like, I'm glad I have fucking cutscenes or fucking subtitles on because I can't hear you.
Hear you. Well, there we go.
That drives me nuts. So, having just spent 2 weeks with an audio engineer going back and forth on my 3 songs for my EP, I'm really sensitive to audio issues now. But they're done. I'm so excited. So excited. Midlife Crisis is achieved.
It's been achieved? This is it? You're now done?
They're done. They are totally done. I've got the album artwork. I've got the 3 songs. My only thing I have to decide now is which of the 3 am I going to tell Spotify to consider for playlists? Because when you have a release, you get to choose one to submit, and I've got it down to 2. I can't decide.
You got to choose the single. Oh boy.
Yes, that's basically it. And who knows if they'll even put on a playlist? You get one chance. So
yeah.
Make a choice. So I might send you all 3 and say which one would you think. To be honest, I might send it to a few people and say like, of these 3, which one do you think would be the one? So, yeah, that's my agony now.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all we've been playing. And then Friday, Metroid comes, and I'm probably not going to play that with my daughter because the shooty. But
no, and I've heard that it's actually scary.
Oh well, I'm fucking certainly not playing with her.
I didn't see a huge thing. I just saw that people have gotten hands on with it now for like a couple hours. And they're like, yeah, the first few hours of the game is really tense.
Oh.
Like, dread is a very good term for the game. So I'm like, oh, it's a horror Metroid. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well, then I'm certainly not going to play it with my daughter.
Basically, they said the Immies, the robots, are actually pretty terrifying.
Okay.
And you're like, they do a great job of building them as like intense enemies that you need to like avoid and keep away from.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, I don't think you need to worry about playing it with your daughter at all. For lots of reasons.
Cool. Well, she can play with the Samus controller then.
There you go.
Man, we went on a vacation this weekend to an Airbnb, like a pool house. It was really cool. It was just us. And it's like a kid's house almost, where like the kid's bedroom had just a fuck ton of toys. My daughter was in heaven. And she pulls them out, looks at them, and she pulls out this, it was like I'm sure there's probably some movie where this character was in there, but it was Iron Man, but he was like bulked up, just more rounded. I don't know how to describe it, but it kind of like a beefier Iron Man. And she pulls it out and she says, "Daddy, it's Samus." Like, yes, I have taught you well.
Nice.
Yeah. It's not, but we'll call it Samus.
Like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
It can be whatever you want it to be. That's fine. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure we'll talk about that on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Put some time into that.
We're both going to have a little bit of time. Well, you'll have more than I will, I'm sure, but I will definitely put it in and give it a go before Sunday so we can talk about the scariness. Good if it's scary. Good time to put it out. October. People are looking for that shit, you know. So. All right. Well, this was episode 308 of Prof and Dev Play Games. He is at Summer Speak. I am at Prof Plays Games, and we will see you next week when we are going to discuss. Well, next week, shit. We're going to see you soon because we're recording later in the week. Yeah. So we'll see you soon. Talk about Metroid.
Later, everyone.
See ya.